Radio Free Skaro!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 799. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
It's 799 is close to 800, our 800th numbered episode. As Chris pointed out, you know, we never count our numbered episodes as much as we do our anniversary, which is coming up in August, our 15th anniversary.
I like to think of the non-numbered episodes as DVDs scattered on the floor that we haven't bothered to organize yet.
I have to say that because we've done the odd special release here and there, like a Wednesday cutaway over the years. We've had, of course, the Fluid Links Advent calendars over the years, in partly in a way to annoy anyone who's actually trying to document this and sort of think,
including yourself,
including myself. No, yeah.
Don't forget, there's at least two instances of like the same number with like an A and a B.
Just so, yeah, the 8A and 8B. Warren and I did a two-part commentary for Parting of the Ways, Bad Wolf, back in 2006. For some reason, we numbered it that way. So yeah,
because we didn't care.
Yeah.
And then the other AB was 120 something, which is an Eccleston commentary.
We did a couple.
Why do you know this, Chris? Why?
Occasionally,
stick in my brain.
Occasionally, we've done like a little breaking news segment. Like I remember we talked about missing episodes when those were announced, and also I think there was a cast for the new Jodie Whittaker cast. We did like a 120/A, kind of like Mission to the Unknown style, that sort of thing. So like, there's all this of
is course,
irrelevant
without necessarily being consistent. Because I remember when we did the when Barry Letts passed, and we did the emergency convening for an episode. With
we did a whole episode.
That was like a normal numbered episode.
Yeah, it was like 2 days after we did the Gallifrey 1 retrospectives this past year. We numbered those episodes too, mostly, as I say, to annoy pedants a little bit. It's kind of fun. Sometimes I like to do that. I just like to, you know what? I'm going to annoy who I was back when I was 22 years old. Basically, that's who I'm targeting this pedantry to.
Or me, yeah.
Or you today. Although you have eased up a little bit, though, Chris, over the years.
Oh,
it has to be said.
Time, yeah. No, I mean, as far as this stuff is concerned,
I like how you qualify. Well, in this particular instance, yes.
Yeah. It's been almost 14 years. So I've learned to let things go.
It's easier that way. I used to be upset. I can't believe that I used to be upset about people calling it DR Who.
And now you do it to upset people.
Yeah, now it's fun. Now I do it all the time. I call the lead character Doctor Who now because it's a lot of fun.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah.
I've kept the place warm for you all these years.
It's so much more fun to just laugh at these things. The last brick to fall, I made a pun there. I didn't intend to. Was Legos. I usually just hate it when people call it Legos. It's not Legos. It's Lego. And I just thought, whatever. I don't care anymore.
Legos is the capital of Nigeria.
I've seen a graph that says
city,
it shows like a lower curve that goes up to a high peak and then down again, and it shows how much you care about calling it Doctor Who properly.
Yeah.
Right in your middle years of fandom, and then as you get older, you just don't care anymore. Why bother?
You know what helped me get over that hump was Peter Capaldi. Because he would call it, because he always called the character Doctor Who when he was growing up. And so he called it like, I'm Doctor Who. I just like, he just said he's Doctor Who. That legitimizes it. That is Peter Capaldi, the 12th Doctor Who, is calling his character Doctor Who. He's Doctor Who now. As I've often,
the cat agrees with you.
Yeah, as I have said in the past, the name of the show is Doctor Who, DOCTOR, Who. The name of the character is Dr.Who. That's how.
But Stephen Moffat made a lot of hay out of being silly with it right on the show itself.
He did too, very much so. Possibly a little much. Anyway, So
Moffat also likes to troll as well. So
a wee bit, and good for him. Last week we put a call out. We did an impromptu focus group and asked what you people wanted from the podcast. And a lot of you said this bit here, this stuff that has taken up the first 7.5 minutes of this episode is what you're here for.
What's wrong with you?
Is what you're here for, apparently. Some of those who responded said that they don't listen to the commentaries as much. By the way, there's a Random Shoes commentary. Why wouldn't you listen to Random Shoes, our commentary for Random Shoes, episode 9 of the first season of Torchwood? I don't know. So
some people responded saying they've never seen Torchwood, so they wouldn't want to listen.
That's
to
true.
For something they haven't seen.
Yeah. So I don't know.
We these blessed people.
we might fiddle with things over the next little while, and just sort of like sometimes longer episodes scare people off just by looking at the episode timing.
I mean, sometimes content is part of that as well. So, I don't know if you still listen, Warren, but there's a Simpsons podcast called Talking Simpsons that.
Sometimes I
know you used to
the free
listen to.
feed. Yeah, it depends on the episode. If it's about
introduced me too, but they do very very deep dives into things, but. They will quite frequently have, for a 22-minute Simpsons episode, a 2.5-hour podcast.
Oof.
Which is...
Yeah, that can be a bit much. Also, they do movie ones where they go into how the movie got made, and that's the only part I'll listen to. Is I don't actually care about their thoughts on the movie. I want to hear all the inside dirt on how the movie was made.
But some of their movie podcasts are, like, the podcast episode is 4 hours.
Mm-hmm. That seems a little long. That seems a little long to me.
Sometimes, like the whole thing about Shrek, and I don't care about Shrek, honestly, but they went into how it got made, and it's an insane process, like most movies are. That part was fascinating. Mm-hmm. Mostly it involved Jeffrey Katzenberg's monstrous ego, but as you might be surprised to hear.
Yeah.
Its nickname was Shrek.
Anyway, I don't know. I'm wary of people's time, basically, is what I mean to say. A lot of people lost their commute in the past year and a bit because it didn't have a workplace to go to, and I gather that a lot of people, like especially in the UK, maybe even in the US, they would listen to us on like a Monday morning on their way to work. We come out like Sunday afternoon in our world, Sunday evening in the UK. But some people just sort of save us for the Monday morning commute. And when you don't have a Monday morning commute and you're looking, well, what am I going to listen to? They might look at a 90-minute RFS episode. I don't have time for that this week, and off it goes. And so we are mindful.
I've done that with other podcasts, so fair enough.
We are mindful of your time, is what I mean to say. And as we sort of come out of this now, this is the second straight week where I've been feeling positive about the end of the pandemic. So, yay for me. We want to. I don't want to feel like we're a burden on anyone. So once these Torchwood commentaries are done and dusted, and if any other cast member of Torchwood wants to have any old skeletons come out of the closet and have stuff that's being
please don't.
Press, please don't. Just wait until we're done these, so that we can just scuttle off into the
Eve Miles revealed as mass murderer.
Mass murderer Eve Miles. Excuse me. Yeah. Anyway, that's a commentary is coming up on this one. For Random Shoes, Kat's favorite Torchwood episode ever, we discover.
By which that means the opposite.
Yeah. But one thing we did, actually, before we get into the actual show proper, speaking of viruses, Eurovision, the final, took place.
That might be the greatest segue you've ever done.
Yesterday. To much.
Yes, this thing has a viewership larger than the Super Bowl.
Huge.
Yeah, massive, so does Big Bang.
Massive worldwide. The Big Bang, it's been gone for 3 years. We got to let it go.
Nope.
It happened, apparently. I wasn't on Twitter that much yesterday. I was actually outside visiting friends on their patio for the first time in 9 months. It was nice. It was nice. But so I missed a great deal of the Eurovisionness. But thankfully, our resident expert and biggest fan by default on this podcast, Chris, was all over that. Did you watch it? Did you have you didn't obviously have a party? Did you what was the day like for you? Who won? Did you agree with it? What is your take on Eurovision 2021?
I actively avoided social media for the most part.
Did you?
Good.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's usually part of it, I thought. Usually part of it is like just being on Twitter and seeing what people say. Oh.
This year I changed that up, and it was fine.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, in years past, taking to Facebook, Twitter, whatever, usually Twitter, it can be a lot of fun because, one of the nice things about Eurovision is just, being snarky at the people and the acts and all that kind of stuff. And it takes a reasonable amount of effort to continue that for a 4-hour broadcast.
I just want to pause. I just want to pause to say that.
Well, no. Before you pause,
okay,
the effort or the lack of desire to put that effort in, is because that takes away from seeing other stuff and actually enjoying the thing.
Oh, that is great. That honestly, that there, Chris, is actually a way of life. I will take, if you're going to be less cynical and snarky at people because it takes more effort to do that, that's a win. I don't care how you get to
I believe this is, to quote Pulp Fiction, a moment of clarity.
Yeah, like in general, not just for you, Chris, in general. Like you could troll people, you could be a jerk on Twitter. Think of the amount of effort that you will save by not doing that and actually watching the thing as a proper person.
Yeah, it's not the amount of effort as such. It's what you because all resources in life are limited. So if you're devoting time to your phone or your computer screen to type out a tweet, then you're not going to be able to pay as close attention to what you're seeing on the TV screen.
I'm going to sort of tangentially agree with Chris on this because two examples. With the Queen's Gambit, everybody was going on about how great it was, and I was like, well, the inevitable backlash is going to happen. I'm just going to ignore this, and I'm going to watch the show and see what I think about it, and I liked it. And then I've just started watching Stranger Things years after the hype, and actually kind of liking it now. So because there's no hype around to annoy me. So the key here is just to avoid social media entirely whenever anything new comes out, because people are going to hate it within a couple of days anyway, for whatever reason, whether it's good or not. And so just avoid that and watch it. Do what you used to do as a kid. Just watch the thing. And then years later find out it was universally reviled because, I don't know, Data did something people didn't like or whatever. Right.
Well,
a bit of a difference between a single event like a sporting match or Eurovision versus a TV show.
I'm just saying I have also reached a moment of clarity. Don't pay attention to social media and just enjoy the damn thing.
Right.
So I'm agreeing with you on that score.
What did you think then, Chris, of the performances? Who won? Was it Italy? Did Italy win? Did they win?
Italy won. Yes, Italy won for the first time in 30 years.
Really? Wow.
They're only their second victory, I think, is what I was.
The Toronto Maple Leafs. Yes, I said it. Of Eurovision.
Wow.
No, there's probably people who were worse. Like the Netherlands won last time, and that was their first time in 40, 45. I don't know, some massive amount of time.
Right.
Italy won. So they had a hard rock kind of song in Italian.
I heard tell it was a rock and roll will never die. Yeah, I saw that people talking about this.
Yeah, so there was one of two kind of hard rock songs in the competition, which doesn't happen as often as you might think, because it's usually ballads or pop songs or
that's good.
Anthems or whatever. But it was it's a fun song. It was the bookie's favorite, and the bookies got that one right. I have no problem with him as a winner. I didn't really have any particular front runner that I wanted to win. It would have been nice to see Iceland win. They came in fourth. Italy was a fine enough choice. It was Kat's favorite going into things as well.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Did you get, was there day drinking involved, as there often is every year?
Hell yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So some consistency here. I'm glad
there is some. There is
absolutely.
some.
Absolutely. Because the thing starts at 1 p.m. our time. So, day drinking is I'm not going to say it's a requirement, but it's an enhancement.
It helps.
Yeah.
In quotes.
For those who choose to do so.
By the way, as a way of history, the reason that we are annoyed, Warren and I are mostly annoyed by Eurovision, and maybe you were in the beginning too, Chris. I don't know when you came around on it, but back when Doctor Who was on the air, remember those days, it would often coincide with Eurovision, and occasionally Doctor Who would take a week off. From broadcast to make way for Eurovision. So it annoyed us as Doctor Who fans, but also podcast planners that we didn't have an episode, just to talk about that week. So we had to come up with something new. So that was a double whammy against Eurovision right from the get-go.
Well, I remember very distinctly that Series 4 of Doctor Who was affected, but I can't remember if any others were.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I seem to think Series 4, they took a break before or after Unicorn and the Wasp.
The two-parter.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right before that. Dark days.
So that was, what year is it, 2008?
2008, yeah.
2009 was the first one I watched.
Was it really? Interesting. Yeah. And of course, we weren't worried about that because that was the gap year, and so there was.
That was the gap year. Well, yeah, no, 2009 was the first one I watched. I was living in Britain at the time, so there's a bit of a different atmosphere being in an actual European country.
A wee bit.
Well, ex-European, I don't
so
know.
To speak. Anyway.
Quote unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a bit of a different vibe being in a Eurovision participant country versus Canada. But no, 2010 was when it kind of really took hold.
Interesting.
I almost thought you said you were a Eurovision participant. I would pay good money to see that, Chris.
That would be fun. You should do that. Can you do that? Can you just is it just like a submit
Celine Dion sung for Switzerland and won it in 1988. So it can happen.
I don't agree with that. I feel like it's kind of like in hockey, ice hockey, if you will, when there's how is this person from Canada coaching the German squad? That's not right, is it? How can they do that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Europe is kind of a small place in a lot of ways,
I suppose.
So this year, for example, the young lady who was representing Greece was born and raised in the Netherlands.
Ooh, controversial.
One of her parents is Greek or something. I can't remember.
Okay,
here's the important thing.
Yeah,
well, all the British participants, are they true Britons with a blue passport?
Well, I'm wondering.
The British guy this year, James Newman's from North Yorkshire.
I don't even know what any of that means. I know I'm causing a lot of controversy with it. I really shouldn't have in the first place.
Got no points whatsoever.
No point. None. No points.
That's for Brexit.
Possibly.
That
some people
shocking.
have said that, but yeah, there's so
a protest.
A lot of Eurovision talk this year.
Yeah,
so
there is. Get it out.
Winners are the winners based on the number of points they receive. The number of points they receive is based on any given country's top 10 vote getters. Wow. So it's not like the UK never got any votes. They just didn't get enough to hit any top 10 list for any other country. So they got no points whatsoever from either the professional jury or the public vote.
This must have outraged Nigel Farage and other people like that. I just saw a tweet float by my timeline that he was like, "This is absolutely rubbish." I don't know why I'm making that voice.
I don't know because I haven't looked, but there were actually 4 countries got no points from the public vote. But,
really? Wow.
But yeah, UK got no points. Period. Full stop. So yeah. The UK, UK has quite often in the last decade or two been the poster child for poor Eurovision results because
it's been a poster child for a lot of things.
Yeah, it's been a rough few years. For the
UK. I take that bet.
Yeah.
There's been another poster child, a much larger one, immediately below us. So never mind.
Yeah.
So you're off the hook, UK. Kinda.
So speaking of, next stop, America Vision.
I was going to say, like this, you know, with the you know, people from Canada singing for Switzerland and Dutch people singing for like, imagine if somebody like from like Wyoming, that's if someone from Wyoming would sing for New York or vice versa. Like, how strict are they going to be? Because, you know, you can move around states a lot easier. They can move around countries in Europe. In terms of like being
Not
born,
really. It's quite easy to move. From one country
Also,
to
how would
another in Europe.
Canadavision work? It'd be very short and very earnest.
yeah,
And not very flamboyant. So
like
why bother?
it'd be a half-hour thing, basically. It'd be kind of fun, actually. I would enjoy that. Well, we'll see how the American one. Are you going to watch the American one? Is this going to be a thing?
No.
Okay.
The American one is, so there's 56 songs in the American one, and there's 39 in Eurovision, so that's a huge jump.
It's way too many.
Also, the American one is being produced by a bunch of Swedish people.
Well, good. I don't want Simon Cowell getting his slick mitts anywhere
I'm
near
kind of
it.
intrigued by that. Like, David Foster isn't going to like do anything with this. That's all right. All songs, Eurovision, all Americo Eurovision songs will be written by Diane Warren. It'll be like the most apocalyptic thing you will have ever heard. It'll be like 56 themes from Enterprise basically entered in.
Oh, dear
as
God.
It would be a long road getting from there to here.
It would be a terribly long road. Let's hope that if Diane Warren shows up on any of the American Eurovision song lists, run, scream, vote nul point for you folks.
I don't know about you guys, but when I first saw the premiere episode of Enterprise and that song came up, I was like, what in the hell have they done?
It killed it.
What is this?
It killed it. Oh my God, that was an instant turn off for a lot of people. Yeah. Good old Enterprise.
I've never been happier for Skip Intro on Netflix.
When I did my rewatch, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch the first.
And it's not even that bad, really.
No, the song. Like, I'm gonna watch the first.
Oh, that is, yeah.
And I thought, it is as bad as I remembered. It is as bad as I remembered.
Didn't they get rid of it near the end?
No, they did not.
No.
All right.
They had when there was a Mirror Universe episode in season 4, they actually had like a special opening title sequence, and that was the only time.
Which is kind of clever.
It was kind of clever.
But I just remember when Discovery came out, I was sitting there on tenterhooks going, please be a proper theme. Okay, thank God it's a proper theme song.
It's still long though.
But it's a real space theme song, not a bunch of country music nonsense.
Twice as long as it needs to be. It's really
It's pardon me. It's as long as it needs to be, because Discovery, like most shows these days, you need enough time in your theme tune to list the names for all 37 executive producers.
That's a good point. That's a fair point.
Yeah, because they don't scroll them out over the course of the episode. They're all on the 1 minute and 30-second intro title sequence.
I mean, I like the blueprint part of it, and I don't mind the Picard one either. Like,
at least for Discovery, they change up the graphics based on the content of the episode, at least sometimes. So
yeah, still too long.
Well, anyway. And the other thing is that themes now to Michael Giacchino and a few people, it's just a lot more moody and sort of ambient than it used to be. So that adds to it. Like, whereas all of them, even Enterprise, given what it was, were kind of bold in their own way. Voyager's a great theme song. The show itself's not great, but the theme is awesome.
Yeah, well, we could talk about that another time, Star Trek themes and how actually good they are, but instead, we'll talk about Doctor Who again, as this is a Doctor Who podcast. This is one thing we're going to try to do. We're going to try to make this a regular feature on the show. We did it a few weeks ago, and I enjoyed it. A few months ago, maybe. Wow,
it's been a while since we've done this.
Yeah, it's a look back through Doctor Who this week in Doctor Who. So we're calling this segment of the show a time lash, because we're going back in time and lashing anything we see that happened this week in Doctor Who.
I suppose if we're in a particularly bad week, we could also call it the Time Monster.
We could, which I believe aired.
Or if it's especially dire, the End of Time.
Oh wow, nice.
That would only happen around the holiday season, thankfully. But no, a whole bunch of Human Nature aired this week in history.
Oh wow!
In 2007, May 26th. That is now it aired 14 years ago. By the way, Human Nature.
Is it this week or last week that it was Name of the Doctor?
Last week.
It was just last week. Right. Name of the Doctor.
The 18th,
which is 8 years ago now. The Savages started. The Almost People also aired on the same day, May 28th. It's been 10 years since the Almost People ever. The Pudding People appeared 10 years ago.
I saw somebody on a video. They had a Doctor Who cup and they were eating yogurt out of it, and they were paying tribute to the pudding people. I'm like, nicely played. Nicely played indeed.
That is superb, actually. I didn't see that. That's awesome. What else happened this week at Doctor Who? The Pyramid at the End of the World. Peter Hardis' last on-screen story for now aired with those monks and stuff like that. Yeah, the monks. We're in the middle of the monk trilogy 4 years ago. How about that?
Oh, I still don't care about them. I just can't care about the monks.
It's difficult. They never kill it. Yeah, the monks.
What if the silence but not cool and they talk?
There's a Blu-ray documentary waiting to be made about that whole season 10 arc and what happened with it. I think there's some untold stories that we...
I think it's going to have to be one of those things that happens many years down the road when there's a little more separation.
Yeah, that's why.
Though, either comic book or in fan fiction form, I'd like to see a battle between the monks and the silence, because they're both theoretically around all through history, blah, blah, blah. Although the monks fooled us into thinking that. They weren't actually around all through history, as far as I know.
I think maybe
the silence get cheesed off about that, stealing their thunder.
But also since 1969, if any person sees a silence, they're supposed to kill them. So
that's true. Maybe the silence
they've
actually
avoided Earth.
Well, maybe they found a way to get past that and made them look like the monks instead. And maybe I still think the silence are the monks in some way, shape,
put on
or
a
form.
funny hat.
Yeah, a hat. Always wear a hat. Always wear a funny hat. That's the way to do it.
The jaunty little chapeau.
Chapeau.
That'll be the name of my fan fiction, my monk silence fan fiction, Jaunty Little Chapeau.
The Evil of Alex episode 2 aired on May 27th. I mentioned that because it exists. It's the one episode that exists.
Sunday is the Time Monster episode 2, which also annoyingly exists.
Have you ever... Yeah, that's our new segment, which episode should go missing?
Yeah, that's in a way. This is why we're lashing it, basically. It's like, this one should probably go. I don't
Liz
think...
Miles' ears perked up and she just got a knife out.
I
feel
kill
like someone, not sure who yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where because oddly enough, The Chase also started airing last week in history, in 1965. It doesn't really go off the rails until episodes 3 and 4. And I feel like The Time Monster really only goes off the rails when it goes to Atlantis.
But when it does, who boy does it.
It does.
It is in its own way an episode of Eurovision.
In some ways, actually. You have some really over-the-top theatrical acting, some unconvincing sets, cleavage.
Big costumes.
Yeah, it's like the Time Monster is...
Some unrepentant sexism.
Yeah, I think the Time Monster is actually the physical embodiment of Eurovision.
Looking at the information here, so... because we were talking about this a few minutes ago for Eurovision in 2008 and all that. Right. So the Unicorn and the Wasp went out on the 17th of May. 31st was Silence in the Library, so the 24th would have been Eurovision.
That's right. There it is. We were talking about that. How about that? Oh, golly. Like I remember at the time we were not happy with Unicorn and the Wasp. I think it's aged better than I thought.
It's fine. I've watched it and it's fine.
Yeah, I find it better than I did at the time, but I really didn't like and do not like The Doctor's Daughter. And we had like 2 really questionable weeks of Doctor Who.
It's still crap. Yep.
And then no Doctor Who, and it's like, oh God, what the hell is happening? What happened to the magic of Doctor Who? We were thinking at the time.
That's why some of us are not big fans of Series 4.
Yeah, I know. Some of us are not. And I like
Silence of Series 4.
And then remember, actually, that week, this week in history, then, because it was like the day or 3 before Silence in the Library aired, that they announced Stephen Moffat was new showrunner of Doctor Who. They announced it just in advance of his new story for season 4.
Yeah, didn't they?
Didn't they? They did, yeah.
Even though apparently the decision was made sometime in early autumn 2007.
It was a long time. There's
a big gap between the event and the announcement.
Yeah, like God, it makes you think of just how massive a show Doctor Who is, where you basically have to like it's like setting up an Olympics. Like, here's your new showrunner. We need 3 years to get working on the next series of Doctor Who, and we have to take a year off to do it. Essentially, like it's quite.
Well, I mean, look at if you want something comparable, or actually, I think it's even a bigger gap. Mm-hmm. Recording of the most recent episode of Doctor Who. And the actual announcement of Bradley Walsh and Tosin Cole leaving. That was like a year.
A year, yeah.
Maybe even more.
And it wasn't even pandemic related either, you know? They thought we were showing this. Yeah, they shot the holiday special right at the back end of that series. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, with the thing's not coming out for a long time, we're not going to talk about it for a long time.
No, we aren't. Anyway, that is a brief glimpse of what happened this week in Doctor Who history here in the Timelash. On other things, this is something that propped up, and I must admit I don't know the full story behind it, but the Doctor Who and the BBC's stance on copyright infringement that has unchanged since 2014 has sort of come up recently. The Radio Times, Hugh Fullerton wrote a big article about it, really, really big article on it actually. And about this, and I know that one person who makes is it a video, or they were doing the
audio plays
of the Dark Dimension, based on the original script, not the original Adrian Rigglesford one, but the BBC asked him to remove it essentially from YouTube, and now people are thinking, what is going on here? Like the BBC is sort of like, are they starting to go after fan film or fanfic productions of some sort?
But that's based on something that BBC, I guess everything is based on something that the BBC owns, but specifically a script that they wrote. That's a little different, isn't it? I mean, I think commissioned for them.
I think that's the basis of it. Like, do not perform. Like, you know, if you perform, basically the standard is, you know, if you're going to do a performance of an actual Doctor Who script, you should ask us beforehand, but we don't really recommend it, they say.
And that's still a gray area, like people do on YouTube all the time, the big speech from 11, right? But that's a little different, I think, because it's just 2 minutes or so.
Or they make other Doctor actors do this.
That, I'm not a fan of that either. But
barking monkeys.
Yeah.
I think part of what's going on here is there's inconsistency in the application, and I think that goes without saying for almost anything that involves laws.
I can't imagine that there's inconsistencies, Chris.
But the person who was told, you know, okay, you can do the Dark Dimension, like leave it up for a short time, pull it down, whatever, wrote their own original script, and they were told, no, we don't want you doing that at all. Yeah. And then not long after that, that university, Lancaster University or whatever, does this remounting of Mission to the Unknown involving Doctor Who actors.
Yeah, which is great. We have to say,
posted on the BBC's Doctor Who YouTube channel. Like it's just, there's like what rhyme or reason is getting applied to these
part
things?
Of this is that the BBC is a huge organization, and there's probably not just the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. There are several octopus tentacles that don't have a clue what the other octopus tentacles are doing, I'm sure. Yeah. That's almost certainly part of it.
Is it because, I mean, the Mission to the Unknown thing, it was through university. It was basically education. Is that a...
Yeah, it's not for profit, right? But then again, this Dark Dimension probably wasn't either, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the BBC says, okay, you know, it's for educational purposes, but, you know, depending on how good it is, maybe we'd like you to put it on our thing as well. And they did. I mean, it's basically almost a co-pro, you know?
Not to get the baleful gaze of character options on me, but I do this all the time with Bookshelf Doctors. And at that point, who owns it? I mean, I don't claim ownership. I guess I own the physical dollies, but I am playing off the fact that they're Doctor Who or whatever they are. I've got Star Wars and Star Trek and some obscure dollar store nonsense, like whatever I can find. And I'm often making fun of these things. So am I? I mean, I guess I maybe am breaking, but nobody seems to care. So,
yep, yeah. And there's other you know inconsistencies listed here, like people who posted reaction videos to Jodie Whittaker's announcement as the Doctor, and then the BBC makes a supercut of these and plays them at Comic-Con. Well, simultaneously, throwing up blocks on other fan vid stuff. It's like,
I don't want people to stop doing reaction videos. I want to be able to filter them out on YouTube, because it totally screws with any search. Like a new trailer for, I don't know, some Star Wars movie comes out. You're never going to find that trailer. You're going to find a million reaction videos first.
Yeah. No, Chris, you raise a good point. I mean, you know, like the BBC, we're going to just take from Twitter and take your reaction to our product, but not actually seeing the product. Yeah, it is. That's a bit disingenuous.
It gets even weirder. Marvel did this with their "See You at the Movies" trailer a few weeks ago, where they had and I'm putting air quotes in here, the audience reacting to Endgame, which was a thing that people put up, and it's great. I love it. There's some amazing reaction to Endgame things in the theater. But then it turned out that they built it from scratch themselves. They kind of faked it. And I'm like, well, it's all fake anyway, so who cares? But on the other hand, but that's the studio itself doing that, right? And then doing it not even for real. So it's very confusing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, from what I could see, podcasts are not part of this, if only because in the 14 and a half years that we've been doing this, we have often, we haven't like done reproductions of Doctor Who episodes. We have used music. We have used occasional clips from the show, but we are talking about the show.
I think that stuff like that goes under, well, the clips anyway would go under fair use.
Yeah.
I think so.
Depending
on the country too, because we don't actually have fair use in Canada.
No.
Yeah.
But the only time we've properly sold out for an ad on this show is when the BBC has actually come to us for it. So there's that too, and I feel like they probably know what's going on. It's like, there's a Doctor Who.
No, I think the whole thing Warren mentioned of what one tentacle, one tentacle doesn't know what the other tentacle's doing.
Oh yeah.
Any sufficiently large organization is going to come across a lot
things
of that.
Things have generally improved though. Like in their green room talk before we recorded, I was talking about how when I think Revenge of the Sith or Attack of the Clones, one of the two prequel movies came out, either Fox or Lucasfilm or whoever was actively taking down any site that like would post the trailer on their own, because it was piracy somehow, as opposed to promoting their product.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get on QuickTime because it was overloaded with people trying to see the trailer. So that's why these people were putting it up in the first place, essentially doing the studio a service. But you'd never see that kind of behavior now. That would be insane of them to do. And they finally realized that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope that this isn't like the sign of a thing to come about like the BBC sort of squelching any and all, like, because there's the Doctor Who fan community is a very creative one, and
well, most fan communities are.
They are. It's great. It's people celebrating the love of the show, and I think of the those remarkably well made Star Trek fan films that Paramount keeps trying to cancel and smack down.
Are you talking about Axanar or whatever it's called?
The one that Colin Baker was in.
Those are different. I think those are like kind of unofficially sanctioned.
Are they? Okay, because there are other ones that were. I don't know.
I sort of know half the story with this, but right. Axanar was like, I think they were making money off the Kickstarter or funneling it into their company or something. Which, if you're making a Star Trek, if you're making money off somebody else's IP, that's kind of. And I may be wrong about this, but with what they were doing, I just remember seeing an interview with them going, "Oh, I'm very sympathetic to these people," and they're "Oh no, these are just Hollywood jackasses trying to ride on Star Trek's coattails." Okay, if you were some kid in Minneapolis making a fan film with your camcorder, I'd be totally in your corner. But if you're some guy who can just go make his own damn movie, then why don't you just do that?
Yeah, I mean, such a gray area with like the '90s stuff in Doctor Who, with the BBV stuff, but which more later, perhaps.
And on top of that, with Doctor Who, how many people came up from the fan community in the 90s to work on this new show itself?
Tons.
Most of them, right?
As Peter Capaldi
all three
said,
showrunners.
when he was announced, we all make Doctor Who. I mean, he couldn't have been more correct. We all do it throughout the course of our lives. We sort of make something regarding Doctor Who, in honor and tribute to it because of our enthusiasm for it, and eventually that like leads to people working in the industry itself, and then actually making the show. Yeah,
and I'm sure that happened with Star Trek and a bunch of other legacy stuff. Star Wars for sure.
Yeah. Definitely. So, hey, well, keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it. As I said, in the links in the show notes, there's a big thing on the Radio Times from Hugh Fullerton, the redesigned Radio Times website, which I say is overdue. It's a nice, cleaner look.
Is it less clickbaity?
Less clickbaity, and the pop-ups don't annoy me as much. And it's better now, I think.
That's some qualifiers there.
Yeah. The season 24 Blu-ray set has a new trailer for Benjamin Cook. They put it out a couple days ago. I haven't watched it because, you know why? Because I don't want to be spoiled. I'm just looking for. I'm still waiting for the season 8 one to come. It's coming in a couple weeks, finally. and we're getting according to the BBC Canada shop, which I admit I haven't checked it in a while, but August 3rd I think is probably around the release date for it here in North America. And I'm just like, I want to come in as cold and like unspoiled as I can, because watching a new Blu-ray set it's a special moment for me. And I like to watch it.
There's a decent focus on the VAM for the within the trailer,
right?
Which is nice.
Like I don't need to be tempted anymore. I've already I pre-ordered it in before I knew it was coming.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And so to watch it, it feels like kind of like looking at, I don't know, a packed concert hall in New Zealand right now, because they've gotten over COVID before anyone else. It's like, I don't need to watch that. I know one day we'll get to have packed concert halls again, but we don't have it now, and I am jealous. And so I don't want to go like, I would love to watch 25 hours of studio footage on the season 24 box rate
in a packed concert hall.
In a packed concert hall
with all the other studio footage enthusiasts.
10,000 of us.
Social distancing would be no problem for that one.
I guess so. So I want to experience and enjoy that. So I haven't watched the trailer. I'm sure it's great. Benjamin Cook.
It is. It's fun. They're all fun.
They're all fun. Also fun. This is cool. So the Doctor Who magazine came out with a Doctor Who Chronicles issue 1, all about 1965. A hell of a year for Doctor Who history, when it really sort of kicked into the stratosphere of popularity. They're doing another one, issue 2, 1975, the year of our birth, Chris. The greatest year.
And my 5th birthday.
And your 5th birthday. What are the busiest years of Doctor Who? Because, of course, it's Tom Baker's first season and his second for the most part, because, of course, they started in the winter in late 1974 into 75. And then, of course, season 2 of Tom Baker was in the autumn. So there was a ton of Doctor Who. They made basically seasons 12 through 13 back-to-back, essentially. So, yeah, I'm getting that one. That's for sure. It comes out on...
June 10th.
I just saw here release date of May 17th on the Panini website and thinking that's passed already. But the pre-order,
I can't hear Panini website and not think it's about bread.
I know, me too.
Or want a sandwich.
Panera, is the bread company, which is sponsoring this episode of Radio Free Skaro. So
we sold out to the bread company.
If you only want one word, then it's a panino.
A panino.
That's true.
That sounds like a slur of some sort.
It does a little bit, actually. Anyway, you can pre-order it now. It's available on June 10th, just after the Season 8 Blu-ray here in this country. So I'll be looking forward to that, looking about all the background shenanigans about producing Tom Baker's first 2 seasons of Doctor Who, the television series, not the character. Big Finish. The 6th annual Paul Spragg Memorial Short Trips opportunity is open. It runs through the end of June. What it is, you can submit a synopsis and an excerpt from opening excerpt from the story, and Big Finish will select the winner and produce it as a Big Finish audio, most likely read by an actor of some sort. But hey, what a thing! Anyone can enter with a thing there.
I have at least twice and failed equal times.
But the writing experience was
rewarding. It was worth it for that. And right? Sophie Isles said the same thing, that she never won, but it was worth doing just to learn stuff.
Mm-hmm. I imagine that I'm just looking. I mean, maybe not necessarily. I don't know the roster of writers that have won this in the past, but I bet you a lot of people who currently write for Big Finish, or at least have started there in the last 6 years, probably submitted stories at some point. Just getting a handle of how it works, and the template and you know what's expected of an actual Big Finish story. I mean, this is the ground floor right here. You're getting in on it.
Also, I believe I misgendered Sophie. They said that. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Fantastic. So there. That's as I say, goes to the end of June. So links in the show notes, or go to bigfinish.com for all the details about that. I do not have any stories that could fill up 500 words kicking around in
then
my
the
head.
Doctor beat the Daleks. The end.
That's pretty much it, actually. Like, I could think of a skit, Maybe if I really thought
Just take a Yoda savings and loan and change all the names to the Doctor, and you're good.
That's not even. Let me tell you, those are like a minute and a half long, and they are not. They are not 500 words. They're not.
Broton, the middle management Zygon is not going to be. Although maybe.
Yeah, you can stretch it out, pad it a bit, put a couple things in there. Anyway, that's why other people write things for Doctor Who. Like Andrew Smith, our friend Andrew Smith, has written another unit story, The Enemy Beyond. It features the Curator's Gambit, featuring the curator, Tom Baker, as the curator, but really he's Doctor Who. And the new box set, Unit Nemesis 1.
I love the cover art because the ice warrior is just standing there like it's part of the crew, which maybe it is. I haven't learned it.
Maybe it's like,
but I'm just like, it's just kind of hanging. Yeah, here I am, an ice warrior.
The ice queen's there. Maybe she's like, it does feel kind of like a, Sequest DSV thing. Like, they just found some Atlantean or something to be on the crew.
What I like, if anything, is the presence of Harry Sullivan as Ian Martyr looked in the 70s.
I know.
I also like that you refer to Sequest DSV, because that is a pretty deep cut. And where is the Sequest DSV legal brouhaha over copyright and fan fiction? I ask you.
I ask you too.
All the Jonathan Brandis fanfic is its own separate thing.
Roy Scheider. Listen, I would like to rewatch Sequest, thinking that Roy Scheider is actually the analog of Bob Fosse on that boat from All That Jazz.
Roy
Scheider I would watch.
He was fabulous, obviously, in Jaws, in The French Connection. I mean,
in All That Jazz. He's amazing in that movie.
He's an amazing actor. And I feel like
2010, he's great in that too.
I passed by Sequest DSV.
Enjoy
your promotion, Big Finish. We've already segued to Sequest DSV.
Sequest DSV, Philip Siegel involved in that.
Big Finish. Big Finish. There is no reason you can't find some fine British actor to basically imitate Roy Scheider and make Sequest DSV, or the Dolphin, or Jonathan Brandis, and do a Sequest DSV. I'm sure the rights are next to nothing.
Oh, the IP's got to be out there.
Is Stephanie Beacham still around?
I have
no idea.
She is.
And who plays the Dolphin?
Lightwave 3D. That's who plays the Dolphin.
Frobisher, the
New
Penguin.
Tech Zone, Lightwave 3D.
Yeah. Oh, now I'm intrigued. I want to find it. Is it anywhere? Is Sequest DSV anywhere? Like this sound like where do you find that on a streaming service?
It's probably on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It's probably on less gray area posts on Daily Motion.
It's like Shout TV or something like that, or like
shot or uploaded with the image flipped for. So
on YouTube or something. Yeah. Anyway, Sequest DSV does not feature in Unit Nemesis 1, but you can pre-order it for November of 2021. 4 stories with Unit, 2, of course, written by Andrew Smith, and one written by John Dorney, and the other by Lisa McMullen. Gallifrey 1 guest, I believe, Lisa McMullen, next year, because Gallifrey 1's coming, everyone, and I'm feeling better about it, just like I am about Unit Nemesis 1. Pre-order now.
Sequest DSV update. Just watching says nowhere to be found. Doesn't even register as a thing that existed.
Travesty.
I did a search, and the first result under videos was season 1, episode 2 on Daily Motion.
Daily Motion.
You were right.
Daily Motion, but maybe a little more legitimate home for Sequest DSV is in order.
Are you talking about France's national, or maybe not national, but France's own Daily Motion? Where I've put a few Doctor Who things that got taken down by YouTube, just saying.
It's just like
a couple of different openers for the RFS Live show might have gone on there time and again.
Daily Motion when you can't get on YouTube.
Season 1 composer, John Debney.
John Debney, who did Doctor Who, the TV movie. Well,
and a lot of other stuff.
I found my deep dive after this podcast is done.
Oh, dear God. What have you done to yourself? This is worse than when you watch Voyager.
Also, as I had forgotten, Canadian legend Michael Ironside is in there.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Basically, the Canadian version of Mark Shepard, because he was on all those sort of genre shows back in the
Total Recall Zone.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised he never showed up on a new Battlestar Galactica.
He seems like the type. I mean, having only watched 4 episodes of that show, he seems like I'm gonna wait.
He's an old grouch, which is that show is good for.
Yeah, he would turn up in every Canadian movie. Anyway, BBV, I mentioned them earlier. They're releasing the full interview of John Nathan Turner that we talked about last week or 2 weeks ago. They're also releasing an interview as seen in The Doctors, the 30th anniversary documentary about Doctor Who. The full interview with John Pertwee. It's got to be one of his last ones because, of course, he died in 1996. This week, May 27th, he died. And they from BBV, they are releasing the entirety on, I think it's actually on May 27th too. You can pre-order it though for £12.99. Maybe it'll show up on Amazon Prime or Daily Motion. If not, don't buy it legitimately, please. It's important to have a legally purchased DVD. But so yeah, that's coming. BBV seems to be putting out some of these archive stuff as of late, which is kind of cool because it's neat to hear people.
Because this follows that JNT one that was released as well.
Yeah, has it already come out, that GNT one? I haven't checked, but
I don't remember what the release date was. Yeah, it says in stock, so yes.
Okay, there we are.
I speaking of BBV and Eurovision, I want to see a musical about Bill Baggs' career during the wilderness years called Bags with an exclamation point. I would pay good money to see that. And I want to hear a song about the Arizona Solution.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
Arizona Solution.
I mean, there were some great. What were they? The Doctor Forever, I think, was the series of documentaries and the DVDs about the wilderness years.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if Bill. I can't remember. I haven't watched this for a few years. I wonder if I can't remember if the Bill Baggs stuff made it on there.
I'd be surprised if it didn't, unless there's some sort of internecine fan fight from the 90s that happened between different wilderness yearsians.
Yeah, because eventually, if you're going to talk about, you got to talk about Zygon, and that's a thing that exists, man. Anyway, speaking of things that exist, Ruby's Curse, a book written by Alex Kingston. She played River Song, wrote the book, wrote the theme tune, sings the theme tune. She wrote the book, and she also
she narrated the audiobook.
EGOT for Alex Kingston.
And she reads the first chapter as well on the official Doctor Who YouTube page, which you should subscribe to, I'm constantly told. And of course, why wouldn't you listen to Alex Kingston reading a book that she wrote about River Song? Because she's fabulous. So links in the show notes to listen to it, and of course you can buy the book at all reputable bookshops, and indeed some less than reputable ones.
Somewhat grubby bookshops as well.
Very grubby bookshops. You can find the Ruby's Curse, which is pretty cool. So, all right, folks, look at that. We covered off like about an hour worth of stuff on this show. That could be an episode, but wait, there's more. Just when you think it couldn't get any better, Torchwood Revisited. Random Shoes, right after this. Welcome back, Torchwood Revisited, Episode 9, Random Shoes, FKA, that's formerly known as Invisible Eugene, all the way up until like 2 weeks before it actually broadcast. So yeah, this is. I have no memory of this episode whatsoever. Nope. But Chris, now some context. Kat is very much a big Torchwood fan. Came to Doctor Who via Torchwood. Speaks highly of Torchwood.
Came to Torchwood via Queer as Folk, and then to Doctor Who.
Right. And like defends like Cyberwoman up and down, but she has an issue with Random Shoes, and she has sent us a prepared statement that you would like to read out on her behalf at this point.
Yes, the ransom note.
Okay.
No. Yeah, she's been on record on Verity as to the thoughts of this episode, but
all right.
Yes. So the title is Random Shoes is Rubbish.
Okay.
Random Shoes is the worst story in the extended Doctor Who universe.
Wow.
Sometimes I wish tape wiping was still a thing so that Random Shoes had a chance at being wiped, and the used tape could be used for something more interesting, like an advert. The only time I watched that episode and enjoyed it was watching it on Daily Motion in 8-minute chunks, and more than half had been pulled from the site.
Why does she hate it so much? I'm curious. I mean,
well, we're gonna find out.
That's the extent of the prepared statement. So,
all right. Well,
I admire bile of that magnitude.
Absolutely.
My hat goes off to you.
Yeah,
Kat?
I mean, we have like maybe 3 or 4 things that I think we could all agree on that we would hate with such passion and vigor. But somehow, I think that perhaps David Tennant's finale will not be surpassed in awfulness by Random Shoes. But I'm willing to be proven wrong, Kat. I'm willing to be proven wrong.
Yeah, you mentioned the former title of Invisible Eugene. Mm-hmm. I imagine we probably knew this back in the day, but having just reread the fact, apparently this was like a Torchwood Light episode.
Yeah, whoa! Why are you spoiling all this?
We're talking about that later.
This
all right,
gold.
Let's
this
get going then.
We're gonna be. It's about to start, and you get your word. Why are we delaying Random Shoes? I don't understand.
Yeah, well, I wonder. After that prepared statement, why would we want to delay? This is apparently amazing.
I don't think I've watched Random Shoes since like buying the season 1 box set, and I remember enjoying it.
Oh well, there we go.
I don't remember anything about it. I forgot the title even.
I know. Well, we'll get into it. We'll watch this, and we'll all try to remember and reminisce as we watch it. As we watch our legally purchased DVDs and Blu-rays here of Torchwood Season 1, because we're about to press play on Episode 9, Random Shoes, in 3, 2, 1, play.
But yeah,
first episode ever.
Yeah, it's already back.
Apparently, this is a Torchwood Light episode, and most of the cast is filming episode 12. While Eve Miles was prominently featured here.
Yeah, I think I had surmised earlier on in this commentary series that perhaps they never double banked any episodes because they look like they're made in about a week anyway. But I was wrong. I mean,
Gwen's probably my favorite character of the bunch. So is it bad that this is all about her?
I don't think so.
No. I mean, she's the I was talking about the Doctor Who companion being the
gateway, if you will,
the means of entry, the gateway.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For the fan, for the viewer, that's what Gwen is here. So,
well, I always looked at her as sort of like how Michael Burnham in Discovery is the lead character, but also the second in command. That's how I kind of look at her. She's the lead character basically, but also the second in command.
Yeah.
I think Eugene could do with some hairstyling tips.
That's an interesting thing.
I have no hair, and I'm disgusting.
Yeah, like maybe they needed the hairdo that like stays in place because he's probably a ghost at some point.
This also looks like something that never got it past England. Like there's certain things you're like, oh, that's a thing in England and nowhere else. Okay, at that particular time. And I don't know if I'm right about this, but that looks like it would be one of those things.
Yeah, like around the Britpop era and stuff like that. I had something queued up here. I had something to say, but I don't remember what it was. Traveled on the bonnet. That is something that never got past England. The bonnet. I like that. You don't hear the bonnet very often in...
well, unless it's 1800s, Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
I think I first learned about that terminology from Seeds of Doom. From Amelia Ducat.
The car boot. A Daimler car boot. The car as a material. To quote her. What was I going to say about this? Something about something.
I think you're probably right about the hair thing.
We need something that's stapled
representing
down.
his ghost hood.
That doesn't fringe in our CSO, because maybe they're doing CSO.
He looks like a young Tim Cook. That's what he looks like.
Yeah. I think at the time, I watched this and thought sort of like, oh, I see. It's a Torchwood episode sort of focused on a non-Torchwood regular character, and I thought, so it's basically Torchwood doing Love and Monsters, which in a way it is, because it's just a Dr. Light episode, yeah. But it's
they're wielding that Nokia.
Jaquetta May.
Who?
Not a name we're used to
seeing.
Right
there, yeah.
Did she ever work again? Let's find out.
I don't know. Jaquetta May, that is not a name that I have heard before, I will say that.
I mean, she probably did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the Doctor Who land is what I mean to say.
Writer, actress, and theater director. Career.
Yeah.
Wrote for EastEnders. Was a regular in Dangerfield.
Featured as an actor in a whole bunch of stuff.
So actor in EastEnders, pardon me.
Yeah.
A lot of CBBC stuff. I can never say that right.
CBBC?
Yeah. Adapted Erica Jong's novel Fear of Flying. Piloted movie Lawless starring Saran Jones, Lindsay Duncan and Jonathan Cake. I love that name, Jonathan Cake. Piloted on Sky in 2012 on Sky Living. That's as far as it goes.
Okay.
Jonathan Cake. There's probably something out there called Johnny Cakes, right? He could be called Johnny Cakes.
Johnny Cake. I think Johnny Cakes hosted Great British Bake Off the first couple seasons, didn't he? Or was that too on the nose? I don't know.
Johnny Cake is a cornmeal flatbread.
Is it
this
really?
Does feel very 11 Monsters.
Oh. A wee bit. So much so that I think I messed up my my copy a little bit. Where are you at there, cats? What's your time code?
417.
417. This is a throwback. This is a throwback to us getting mixed up on the commentary. Oh, this takes me back, guys. This takes me back. Like that camcorder. Like that camcorder. That's what it takes me back to. We just saw, or are about to see, depending on where I am in this episode. That is the
Listen,
exact...
getting treated poorly by your fellow classmates gave you superpowers. I would be Superman at this point.
This guy, I've seen him before. This guy's been in...
he looks familiar.
He's in Star Wars. I think he's in Star Wars. I think he's in, like, the prequels. I think that's where I've seen him. But I wouldn't be able to confirm
I believe that's Boss Nass, yes.
It is not Boss Nass, you Philistine.
He played Quail in Robot of Sherwood.
Robot of Sherwood. Are we talking about Roger Ashton Griffith?
Roger Ashton Griffith.
Right? Yeah. Mace Tyrell in Game of Thrones. That's where I remember it from. Not Oliver Sio Bibble from Star Wars. It's not that. I'm sure that everyone was thinking, oh, you're thinking of Oliver Sio Bibble, I think, if I'm remembering his name right. I have to say, looking at him in like current day pictures, he does look a little bit like a Vogon.
He looks like the guy who's the Dream Lord. I can't remember his name.
Toby Jones. Yeah.
Toby Jones. He looks like an old Toby Jones.
He kind of does, actually. I wonder if they're related. They're not related. No, sir. Yeah, they spell their name and pronounce it differently. This is great. I love that we're revisiting these episodes while we're watching them, because I'm watching this and going, I have no idea what's going on. Like 5 minutes into this thing, and I'm going, what is happening? This is Eugene right here, right? He's like, he's got a glass eye or something. He's got a Saturn
he's in
on
The Death of Stalin. He's very funny in that, actually.
Was he really? What was he in Death of Stalin?
The teacher?
I think he plays Bear. I can't remember his name. It starts with B. The really terrible guy they all do bad things to at the end.
Stalin?
The guy who was in charge of the secret police. Berida or Beraba, something like that.
He musician. No, he played musician number 1. I feel like he didn't quite get the star bill.
Who am I thinking of?
I don't know. Jason Isaacs? I don't know.
No, not who's great in Death of Stalin. He's funnier now. They're all funny.
Yeah. I watched that the first time around and thinking, I'm not that impressed by this. But then I watched it again and thinking, okay, this is hilarious. I love it.
I watched it on a plane, and I was like, the whole thing of them using their own accents threw me off. But then 10 minutes in, you're like, okay, this totally works. Like,
yeah, it's like Chernobyl.
It doesn't
in a
work
way.
without it, really.
Yeah, they use their own accent, because otherwise they'll just be doing silly accents like this all the time. And
yeah.
And so when Jason Isaacs comes in with his big Manchester accent or whatever he's from, I'm just like, that's...
It makes him an even bigger jerk than he already is.
It's so great. He's so great at that, Jason Isaacs. The best thing I've ever seen him in, and I've seen season 1 of Star Trek Discovery.
That's not fair.
You were close. Jason Isaacs is from Liverpool.
There we are. Oh, that's close enough. There we go. I just instituted a turf war there. And
Liverpool and Manchester are not that far apart.
I know, but they hate each other probably, right?
Well, that's probably
Beria. Simon Russell Beale played Beria. That's who it is.
But is that a football thing or is that a real thing?
Probably a football thing. Maybe a band thing.
Was Edmonton Calgary a hockey thing, or is it a real thing?
Oh, it's everything, man. I wonder if like Oasis just hates the Beatles retroactively or something like that.
Well, here's the thing: everybody hates Oasis, so that works out great.
That's true. Not enough people hate the Beatles, to be honest.
That is untrue. Well, no, it's unworthy.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
why would you hate the Beatles?
Well, it's just because. I bet you Kat hates them. She's an iconoclast. She probably just the Beatles overrated. There are some people who think you have to decide between the Rolling Stones and the Beatles, and I'm not one of them.
Well, you don't. The Beatles are better. It's not even a contest.
If the Rolling Stones had existed from 1968 to 1974, I think then we're on some even ground. But the Stones decided, like the Simpsons, to exist far past their prime, and so we don't remember them.
But if you look at both bands in their primes, let's just take the 60s, because that's all we got for the Beatles anyway.
Yeah.
They're just two different kinds of music, really.
Very, very different kinds of music. Born of the same, but veered off from there. Anyway,
Stones
we're
got
at
some good stuff, but
yeah, we're in Eugene's home because he's dead.
Yeah.
We're counting on you, Chris, to keep us on plot here. By the way.
Oh, yeah, good luck.
Yeah. Seeing that you've watched it in the last, they still got those. I was
in the last 15 years.
I was in a Winners the other day, and some cat had a big, massive Bluetooth headphone on. Well, he was an older guy, and he was sort of and he had his mask on and stuff, but he still had this massive Bluetooth thing. And I almost wanted to come up to him and says, "Are you on a secret operation with Torchwood because of your headpiece, sir? Don't worry. I know you're undercover, despite there being a massive Torchwood sticker on the back of your coat." But
he would turn to you and say, "I'm beyond the police," and you would worry quite a bit about what he was referring to.
Yeah, didn't I just see you standing on the corner of a building, looking out over the city? That was you, wasn't it?
Beyond the police, he'd say.
So what does this become the Gwen Heavy episode then? Because I'm seeing a lot of Yanto.
It's pretty Torchwoodian right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's very tragic, really. But he comes back to life at the end of this, doesn't he? He doesn't. He's probably dead forever. Poor Eugene. What's he gone on to do, this Eugene fella? Has he been in stuff?
Well, I kept killing Susie for one.
I did. Paul Checker. Paul Checker plays
Checker.
Eugene.
Not much.
He's gone on to a middling career. He was in Sherlock, a couple episodes of Sherlock. Yeah, D.I. Dimmick in Sherlock. How about that? Here's that expensive set again, paying for itself. Yeah, has Captain Jack even been in this yet? I mean...
Yes.
He's in that opening shot, but nothing since.
There's the Doctor's hand, which has no payoff anywhere.
Oh, if only it didn't.
Well, it does in Utopia, but it doesn't here, so.
No payoff.
No payoff.
Anywhere, anytime.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, fine. I'm an idiot sucker.
You are an idiot sucker, Warren. You are the laugh track to our Big Bang Theory. That's what you are.
I know. I can't help it. I just get suckered over and over and over again.
I know. I don't know what it is about you, Warren. You think you... I worry for your safety. I worry that in 5 years we'll be able to sell you fake life insurance plans on this podcast, and you will literally give out your credit card number on the podcast because we'll have suckered you.
Well, since you're editing this, it'd be your fault for keeping that in there.
Maybe it would be. Would it be my fault or to my credit? Think about that.
My fault, I'm pretty sure.
Eugene's dead. I've forgotten everything. I should be reading a plot synopsis for all this. Yeah, where is Captain Jack? And why are they so concerned about
maybe he's filming Utopia as we speak? Haha, vindicated.
Maybe. Yeah, what are we looking at for shooting dates here when it comes to this? So this is it's broadcast December of 2006. Close to your birthday, Warren. Close to your birthday.
There you go.
This went out. Yeah, it's your birthday episode of Torchwood. You turned. Don't
I feel so. Okay, this to be fair, I don't really care one way or the other, but this so far, which is probably not a good sign. But it ain't as bad as Cyberwoman yet.
Well, also, not much has really happened.
Not a lot. No.
Oh, this song was everywhere at the time.
What song is this?
Whatever the song this is, I don't remember, but I remember hearing it a lot.
Is it Hope There's Someone, according to the Wikipedia page? It's not Starman by David Bowie. I know that song is different than this one. I don't know this song.
I like that shot.
Oh, it is a nice shot.
The mother's reflection over top of him.
Yeah. Who directed this? I missed. It was...
director is James Erskine.
What?
Also another name we're not...
Doesn't even have a Wikipedia page, as James Erskine. Erskine, of course, is apparently beer backwards in that Red Dwarf episode. Airskip?
Bitter backwards.
Airskip. For years, I wonder what he was saying, because I didn't know what bitter was. No one ever called beer bitter in my world.
No, they did in Hitchhiker's Guide for some reason, which very much confused me.
Yeah, I didn't.
It's a kind of beer.
Yeah, I didn't
You got your old, you got your mild, you got your bitter.
And there you have the facts of life. Apparently, he does have a Wikipedia page. Or maybe not. Maybe there's another James Erskine. There's a different
There's
James.
your Jack for you.
There he is. Just filling in time. I think
Owen had a G-Star Raw shirt with a G.
I remember those.
Covered up.
God, 2006. Warren, you were about to turn 36 when this aired.
I believe it was
36.
Wasn't that 50 cents brand?
Yeah.
G-Star Raw?
That was G-Unit.
Right, okay.
I only mentioned
I'm a
because
dumb white guy from the prairies. What do I know?
we started this podcast like 5 months before this aired. So you were like 35 when we started this podcast.
Now I'm an ancient man.
Just ancient.
Or more of a husk, really.
Gullible. You are a husk. You are like a husk in the cellar in that episode you adore, Ghostlight.
Yes. Wow. Not a thing you've talked about is true.
Yeah.
To misquote Luke Skywalker.
Everything you think you know is a lie, I think is what Luke Skywalker said, didn't he? Is that what it was?
I believe he said only Nicks can go to China.
That's exactly it. Video Shop. This is very much Blink now. This is basically all the Dr. Light episodes working themselves into, even though Blink was a year away.
Here's the question. Are they going to run into Graham here eating some chips as he reads about it? And she zips by.
I wonder if that's the same place, if that's the same chip shop.
It could be. Who knows?
It's Cardiff, man. They find... Were they in Bad Wolf? Is this the place where they were in Parting of the Ways when they're eating chips and Rose runs out? Now we're into Gwen territory. Now they're off. Oh, there's random shoes. There they are. They're random shoes. And that's the mystery. Why is he taking pictures of so many shoes?
Because he's a foot fetishist, obviously.
Oh, it is Torchwood.
That's right, Quentin Tarantino. I'm calling you out.
Oh, that's just it, though. It is Torchwood. It's the sexy one.
That's true.
Okay.
How did she know to phone Gary? How did she know? Because he's Ghost. He's Patrick Swayze to Gwen Cooper's Demi Moore. Or, if you will, Demi Moore. Which is it? Is it Demi or Demi?
Yes.
Okay. But it's Moore, like Andrew Hayden Smith pronounces Mrs. Moore. And
Mrs. Moore.
Mrs. Moore. Who was interviewed by Kat, just to bring it right back around. This is the Kat episode. This is the same DVD shop that we see in Blink in a year's time, isn't it?
It wouldn't surprise me.
No, it's
Layout's
not.
different.
Do you remember DVD shops? Remember places like this?
Yeah.
Vaguely.
Yeah. Me too, vaguely. I'm trying to think.
Now I just go on my Netflix app and scroll past everything and then go, screw it, I don't care.
I know. It's too much choice. Well, I mean, there's too much choice.
If you went to the video
DVD
shop, you'd actually be like, well, I'm here now. I better get something.
It's not like what's in store here? What do we choose from? Yeah.
Well, everything good's been rented. What am I renting here? Because I'm renting something.
That's true. I honestly don't remember when the last... I mean, obviously you can't do it now. But the last DVD that I rented. Cannot remember. It's been literally a decade at least. Chris, do you remember? Do you remember renting videos?
No.
No? Okay.
I mean, I can tell you the last DVD I bought.
What is the last... Well, mine's probably a Doctor Who
That's
one.
the Faceless ones.
Yeah, exactly. They're just
Or
Doctor Who.
technically Fury from the Deep, because that has yet to ship as we record.
Yeah, let's hope no shipping delays have happened yet. And let's face it, we have Fury from the Deep still in its plastic. Whenever I get a new Doctor Who DVD, even though I might not watch it like right when I get it, I at the very least remove the plastic immediately when I get it, just so I can say the plastic's gone. Like it's off. I'm ready to watch it. I know some people say, yeah, it's still in the plastic.
I do that with dollies. I always take them out of their containers. How can I use them in comics if I don't have them out of their containers? Come
right?
on.
Yeah.
But I'll destroy the value. No, there's no value to them. They're dollies.
No.
Come on. They're dollies of a show I like.
Yeah.
Let's be real here.
Passmore Telesales. There was a hockey player named Passmore Telesales. There was not. There was a Steve Passmore. Played goal for the Edmonton Oilers for a spell, but... This is the same. This has got to be the same office that they used in Partners in Crime. I'm just going to call out every single location
because there's only one office.
That's true.
In all of Cardiff.
I mean, it looks not entirely unfamiliar. I mean, if once you have found an office block that you are comfortable in filming with, you probably think, oh, we'll just go there again. They were pretty cool with letting us shoot at night or something like that.
Chris, let him have his time.
Yeah. Come on.
I'm the gullible one. You're the one who makes ridiculous references just to keep yourself occupied.
Every time Erica and I watch Midsummer Murders, I'd say 86% of the time there's a church involved, and 78% of the time that I see a church, I think, is that the one from Aldbourne? Is that the one from the Demons? Have we been to that church? And it eventually turns out that no, we haven't. But one day there's going to be a Midsummer Murders with that's the one. That's the Aldbourne church. That's the one. From the Demons. Poor woman. Did you ever make it down to Aldbourne, Chris, when you were in the UK?
No.
No? Oh.
Nope.
You didn't have people giving you rides everywhere, though. That's...
No.
No, I think it was Andrew Smith drove us down there. On the way to the Cotswolds, we thought, well, we better stop at Aldbourne. And we did. And there was like a little fete there going on. Bach wasn't there. The Cloven Hoof was, if you've ever been in the UK. It's like an hour west of London. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool going there. Hasn't changed a bit. Church is still there. Square is still there. Some crushed beer cans from John Levine's drinking nights are still there. It's
drinking nights. Not years, nights.
Nights. Dude, they're only there for like a week and a half. I mean, that's that book that was in. Is that a communist propaganda that she's got there? Black Holes and the Uncertainty Principle?
I believe so, yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
I could answer differently, but it would get bleeped.
Oh, I understand. I think I'd like to start a band called The Black Holes and the Uncertainty Principle.
You got the Black Keys, you got the Black Crows.
Yeah, the Black...
That long title is
Sabbath.
also another sort of 2000s band phenomenon.
It is kind of, isn't it? Like the Dashboard Confessional, probably not them. What's the other one? There's some other emo groups.
Well, there's a Fiona Apple album I can't remember because it's a very long title.
Oh, I know. Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. That's one you're thinking by Fiona Apple and no one else, right?
No, absolutely not.
That's not her?
Certainly not fascist idiot Billy Corgan.
No. Is he a fascist?
Okay, Corganites, please do not write me in.
Wow.
I
didn't know he was a fascist.
He's a bit fascisty-washisty, yeah.
Wow. Actual fascism.
Well, I don't know about actually fascist, but he's pretty right-wing, and he's, yeah.
Billy Corgan.
Also, while we're talking about the subject,
all right.
I forget the football jackass's name, but the guy who just won his 16th Super Bowl.
Tom Brady, yeah.
Tom Brady, yeah. Apparently a big Trump fan.
Yeah, well, that is a thing, yes. No apparently about it. eBay. Remember eBay? I just looked on eBay the other day. I don't remember. I think I last bought something on eBay after I rented my last DVD.
I've gone on a few dolly hunts in my time on eBay, but I haven't actually bought anything there.
Actually, no. My Lego baseball stadium. At the Lego store one day, they had like in the little minifig kiosks, they had the Clutchers baseball players, the white and red ones, and so I literally made 27 of them, so I could have one full team. I thought, well, I don't have the other team, the Stackers, and so I just on a whim went to eBay when I got home, and there was like a listing that was like ending in an hour, and it was like, here, there's like 27 Stackers. I'm thinking, okay, I will buy that. It was written in, it was meant to be. Now I can build my Lego ballpark because I have two teams to play in it. So eBay has come up trumps for me one time, but not to that amount. I didn't pay $15,000 for those Lego guys. Let me tell you that. It's about 17, but
you can get dollies for pretty cheap on it. So I'm just looking up a Vision and a Scarlet Witch because I don't have either of them, and I think I need them for some shenanigans.
Mm-hmm. How many Torchwood action dollies did they come out with? Do you know
I have
Warren?
Jack and I have Gwen, but I don't know of any other ones.
Okay, I'm just curious.
I got to think they did a Weevil.
Yeah, the Weevil
I'm pretty
sounds
sure I've seen the
familiar.
Weevil.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did
Like the rest of the crew? Oh, they should have had they should have had the Torchwood fan. You know?
No.
Oh.
Look at that glorious big screen TV.
I also, that was like, old school footage shot on that camcorder that we saw, and I want to believe that was actually shot on that camcorder. And I will say that the zooming
was not.
Well, the lack of focus and the zoom, the crash zoom, and the shakiness of it is like, that's tough to mimic. That would be hilarious if they actually used it.
Oh, maybe. Maybe.
It is. Let me tell you, though. You go on, Chris. Sorry.
Looks like for the first wave of Torchwood action figures, there was a Captain Jack, a Weevil, a Gwen, and a Cyberwoman.
That's right.
So that means I have 3 out of the 4 Torchwood action figures.
You don't have the Weevil. Is that who you don't have?
No, I don't. But I do have Cyberwoman.
Yeah, I know you don't have that.
Then, she's going to make an appearance. Well, she will have already made an appearance in Bookshelf Doctors by this point.
Wave 2 was Captain John, Yanto, Tosh, and the cocaine fish.
The bloke from the first episode. Wow. Yeah. So wait, did we not have an Owen? Did you mention Owen? I don't know. I missed that.
No Owen.
No one. Owen's the Moff Tarkin of the Torchwood figures.
Because he's going to be played by Peter Cushing?
He's going to be played by a CG Peter Cushing, actually.
Nice.
That's how that's going to work out. On the topics of VCR, if you have a VCR, folks, and you still have VHS tapes, hang on to that VCR. Because I have a VCR, and I thought, hey, you know what? It's a little bit fidgety. Maybe I can find a cheap one somewhere. They are basically like missing episodes of Doctor Who. Good luck finding a working VCR these days.
My parents have a TV VCR combo. It's a glorious thing. They have.
Oh my God! Wow.
It's in the basement somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably enough. I found a tape and I watched Seeds of Doom that I had recorded way back when.
Isn't it something
I fast forwarded. I just wanted to see the Pledge Break stuff.
Oh, I know. I got rid of a lot of like all my official, so to speak, Doctor Who VHS tapes, but I held on to like the 3 or 4 that I used to record over and over again until I decided to formally record them on each their own tape, just because of the history that's on that tape. And so even now when I watch like classic stories, I'm thinking, oh, my VHS cuts off right there, and like so.
And here's
for what it's worth, Warren.
Okay.
Is it the Cyberwoman you don't have?
No, I don't have the Weevil. I have the Cyberwoman. I
do have the
Gwen and
Cyberwoman.
Jack.
Yeah.
I don't have the cocaine fish or that's a sentence I'd never say. And, and Captain John and Tosh and Yanto. Tosh and Yanto I wouldn't mind getting.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe next Gallifrey 1. There'll be some loose ones lying around. And I will text you, Warren, and I will text you from the dealer room and say, Warren, get down here. I found a Weevil.
Yes. I was actually asked about, do I have this figure? I'm like, no, you know what? If I'd gone to Galley this year, I would probably have that figure by now.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything stopping me from ordering this stuff.
That's true, but it's more fun. The hunt. It's the hunt of going down to
exactly.
You're at Gallifrey 1. You can actually go to someone. Look at this! I found a Weevil, and everyone in this room
mostly
understands.
finding the stupid ones that nobody wants. Like,
right?
Those are the best ones.
Yeah.
There are a handful of them on Amazon Canada.
Weevil, really? In box?
Oh, no, not the Weevil specific. I haven't seen that one yet, but just Torchwood action figures in general.
I couldn't care if they're in box or not, as long as they're not broken.
Well, I'm just amazed
if I pose them the right way.
They're still new, that's all. That's the amazing thing to me.
I just want to come to VHS's defense. We deride that format all the time. But you can pop one of those bad boys into a VCR 30 years later, and I've done it, and you've done it, and it just works.
Well...
sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. I think the quality.
But I mean, try that with a computer disc.
That's a good point. Try that with a bad DVD or something. Try finding a DVD. Sometimes there's some movies that you can't find on DVD, and they've
exactly.
But the VHS is still kicking around.
My favorite part of having the Just Watching app is going, hey, I never seen that film. I'd like to. Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey, what about that? Oh, that one too. All right. Nothing that. Not available in your... And it's not like it's just us. I think it's just... Some movies just aren't on streaming, period.
No, I know. Like Inchon. Like, when are you going to get to see Inchon, you know?
Well, there's a reason for that. It's absolute garbage.
I know. It's never been released on any home video whatsoever.
Yeah, for good reason.
Yeah.
Financed completely by the Reverend Sun Young Moon.
I knew that Warren would know about that movie.
There's a handful of Weebles on eBay for around $40 with shipping.
Oh, what? $40?
That's tempting. That is tempting.
Well, come on. Just
The
go
two
to
comics
Galley.
I get out of them.
Go to
For
Galley.
most of them, the shipping is more than the product itself.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
The thing about Incheon is, back in the old days, whenever a big like Spielberg or Lucas or a big movie, I think the last time I saw this was The Godfather Part 3. They would do like a full page, back when you'd see movie listings in the newspaper. It was like my favorite section because, what movie's coming out? Holy shit. Oh, oops, you had to beep that, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. But I get excited as a child and swear. And like you can see the Return of the Jedi poster has got just a lightsaber, right? And sometimes they even spend the money on color, right? So, and there was like a Raiders of the Lost Ark one, or like I said, Godfather 3 is the last one I remember. But then there was an Incheon full page ad because apparently this Reverend Sun Moon had all this money on. So as a kid, I'm like, well, this must be a good movie if this got a full page on the newspaper. And no, it is not. It is not.
Laurence Olivier was in that, wasn't he?
Well, I think that's the Caligula effect. Think about how many really amazing actors are in Caligula for no good reason.
Well,
other than probably the paycheck.
Like the late great Christopher Plummer was in Star Crash for he shot for 3 days because
Star Crash is so confusing.
I know, because they flew him to Italy and says, I will take a vacation in Italy. Yes, I will do your movie. Okay.
But the thing is, it's absolute garbage.
Yeah.
But it's got this amazing John Barry score for no good reason.
So weird.
It's insane.
Some of those post Star Wars knockoffs are really awful apart from one or two things. They're going,
yeah,
that is unexpectedly
there's something
good.
else about it. I can't remember. There's somebody of note. There's a couple of actors of note in it.
David
too.
Hasselhoff is in it.
David Hasselhoff is basically Han Solo in it.
Yeah.
And then Caroline Munro, who, my lord, is an attractive woman.
She is. It's definitely made with the male gaze. We'll say that.
Oh, it certainly. That my adolescent gaze was certainly gazing.
In regards to her costume.
But the best part of the whole movie, and I just saw it in the theater because I went to see it with the gentleman hecklers here in town making fun of it, was where they shoot torpedoes that very mustachioed Italian gentlemen come out of.
They shoot torpedoes with people in them. It's amazing.
Yeah. And then these guys come out and they look honestly, okay, I'm sorry, Italians, but they look like a Mario stereotype. They really do.
They shoot torpedoes with guys in them. They don't shoot explosive. They shoot a gun. I
can't remember who I saw it with, but I think I turned to them and said, "This is either the worst or the best thing I've ever seen in my life."
It's both. Somehow Star Crash is both. It's great. It's on every streaming service for free because there are no rights to it, so you can watch it quite freely.
It was probably a tax dodge. Let's be honest here.
If you're not enjoying Random Shoes, which apparently Kat isn't right now, she's watching along with this. Still haven't determined what the we're gonna have to get a second statement, I think, for the next episode to determine what exactly she hates about this, because I don't find it that objectionable yet. Understanding that I have barely watched it. We've been talking about
barely watched it,
Incheon, but how's
can you tell me anything from the plot that has happened?
Well, they're trying
other than Eugene dying.
Well, they're trying to track down who all these pictures of random shoes are. Hence the episode title. 15,005 pounds and 50 pence were paid for a eBay thing. And so she's trying to get to the bottom of this little crime here. I am curious as to why they're looking it doesn't seem like a supernatural crime apart from that alien head keychain. Why is Torchwood on this case? That's my question.
Because Eugene kept pestering Torchwood. It's like they're helping a friend or
like a family, what's his name, like Elton from Love and Monsters. Got it. I wonder if that was the pitch. I wonder if RTD said, you know what, I want to do Love and Monsters but Torchwood style, and that's what they did, because it has kind of a not in the way the story is told, but there's a certain worship with the slight uncomfortableness here going on right here, because he's a ghost and he's lusting after this woman who's already cheating on her fiance.
Well, she's got there you go. And now she's got Owen to hang out with
as her side piece.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Have we seen Reese in this episode? Was I Is it looking
Not
away?
yet, no.
Okay.
So just to tie together some really random nonsense. So the Gentleman
Some
Hecklers.
random shoes, perhaps?
Yes, Eric Phil of the Gentleman Hecklers was playing D&D at his place once. The guy was showing Star Crash, and he turned on Cool as Ice, the Vanilla Ice film, and he's like, "Now wait, Warren, you're going to know who the cinematographer is." And it says at the bottom, "Shot by Janusz Kaminski," who's like Spielberg's go-to guy now.
Janusz Kaminski?
This is before he ever did any of that stuff. So I'm like, what? How?
My
How?
God.
What? I mean, it looks nice. I'll give it that.
I watched Happy Cook. I recognize that. Happy Cook. I reckon. What was I going to say? I was distracted by the Happy Cook. One of my favorite, because I watched it when I was working at a TV station, Cool as Ice. I didn't watch it willingly, folks.
It's terrible.
But
It's garbage.
My favorite thing is when Vanilla Ice comes to someone's house and he just sort of steps up and just knocks on the door once and then just steps back looking cool. And I'm thinking, if somebody like dropped a pan at that time and like at the exact time that he knocked, they wouldn't have heard it, and he would just been standing there the whole time, looking
Just
cool,
waiting.
Literally, the only thing I remember from that movie is when Vanilla Ice knocks on the door.
The only thing I remember is that Janusz Kaminski shot it. I mean, whatever. A gig is a gig. I don't hold it against it.
Madness. Yeah,
It is madness.
just like, oh, what the hell? James Cameron did.
Piranha 2: The Spawning.
Is that it? I thought it was another one that he did special effects on. Or
Oh, no, he did a bunch of special effects on a lot of garbage. Battle Beyond the Stars, tons of stuff.
Battle Beyond the Stars probably is the one I'm thinking of. This guy looks familiar to me, the guy on the right. But you know who he reminds me
That's
of?
because he was in the DVD shop.
I know he's in the DVD shop. He reminds me, oddly enough, of some guy who was in like some cheap, low-budget British horror movie from the early 70s that starred Michael Gough as the villain. And he reminds me of him because that's another random thing that I remember. Random shoes and
random shoes
things.
is making us think of random nonsense.
Really is.
As opposed to all the other comments we've done where we
Yeah.
never do that.
Wait a minute.
These guys all ghosts? What's going on here?
Yeah, what's going on here, Chris? Fill us in. What's happening in the story? Why can they see him? Are they ghosts? Are they
This is
Patrick
the
Swayze?
past.
Oh, okay. Well,
really?
that's a pretty pedestrian response.
Yeah.
I think I'm blaming you for the plot.
Who is this guy? I got to find out who this guy is. What's his name? The guy on the right. Do we know his name?
He looks like he got rejected in an audition for the In-Betweeners.
Oh, maybe he is. Yeah.
Oh, he looks like Michael York?
That's
A young version of Michael
His
York?
name is Stephen Meo, M-E-O.
Stephen Meo.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the 70s guy, and that's who
He,
I think I'm
he
thinking.
did a voice in the Infinite Quest.
Like
but,
Ashton Kutcher?
he's done very little, actually, though. I have not seen him then. I've not
Yeah,
seen him.
apparently he was in the Infinite Quest as a voice.
Yeah, so I just said, yeah. He said a rude word, just like Warren did a few minutes ago. That's,
Yeah, sorry about that.
I was not expecting that in this episode of Torchwood for some reason. I want to say they didn't drop many F-bombs in the second season. As I've said often, I felt that my one overriding memory is it felt slightly more mature, you know, in that they didn't feel like they had to swear all the time to be considered mature. Oh, look at this. He's taking pictures of the random shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Because some deal has gone down here.
Yes, they bought his alien eye off eBay, but
Right.
only have 34 pounds, not 15,000.
Oh, it's the alien eye. That's right. That makes sense. The alien eye. The all-seeing eye. Remove the stone of shame. Attach the stone of triumph.
Yeah, but he's right away. Never mind.
I've been watching Star Trek Next Generation just on a whim. As of recording, like just sort of background noise, because, you know, that's what you got to do with the first couple seasons.
Well,
And-
most of it, honestly. Even though I like it.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart though is really good from the word go. He's really good.
No,
He's
it's,
good
it's
actor.
a great show. It's just that it's very much of its time now, and so I just kind of leave it on in the background.
A little bit, yeah. But, you know, I mean, cry a lot. I watch Doctor Who, and that's very much a product
Yeah,
of its
that's
time.
fair.
I think, oddly enough, Star Trek in many of its iterations is more a product of its time. Perhaps because Doctor Who plays it safe by, oh, he swallowed it. because they never really go into like sexual politics very much at all. And I feel like that kind of is to Doctor Who's benefit because that part hasn't had to age as badly as it has.
Well, think of the Time Monster where it ages very badly.
It does there. I mean,
the
occasional time where like they sort of like reference like relationships. It's like, ooh, that is
women's lib, as they call it.
Yeah. But, Star Trek, the first episode of Star Trek, the original series, features the line, "There's no right way to hit a woman."
Good God, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, so... yeah. We'll see how Torchwood is.
Although I always found it funny when right-wing Star Trek fans were really mad about Michael Burnham being the main character of Star Trek. I'm like, have you ever seen this show?
Yeah.
Like, have you been watching it since the 60s? Because it's been this the whole time. Like, okay.
He's Welsh. So
basically, the climax of this is in a Denny's.
Are we back? It's at the Happy Cook. Thank you very much.
Well, pardon me.
Yeah.
Also, it must be boiling in that thing.
I know. Well, it is Wales in the summer, so it's like solid 17 degrees Celsius here.
Wow. Why would you be so mean? Canada is the Wales of North America, so what the hell are we talking about that?
I'd say Newfoundland is the Wales of North America.
No, we totally are. We're the part that nobody cares about. But a bunch of stuff gets made from another country.
That's a great point. Yeah. Ever since Doctor Who made Cardiff a hub, yeah, Vancouver is definitely Wales.
Basically, Vancouver and Toronto.
Toronto, yeah.
Toronto gets a lot of
Manchester.
Movies.
Toronto's the Manchester of it because they have a big production hub in Manchester now too.
Yeah, but they make a lot of American movies. It's more TV series here.
Well, I mean, Manchester's made probably to look like London, and Cardiff is made to look like London because they can't afford to shoot in London anymore. Just like Toronto's made to look like Cleveland, Chicago, New York.
Yeah, I just watched Fahrenheit 451 a couple days ago, the new one, and which was okay. And and it's Toronto, but it's supposed to be Cleveland.
Cleveland. Why would you set your show in Cleveland?
I think that's where the original book is set. Also, Keir Dullea is in it.
Is he really?
He was.
What year is this from?
It's 2018.
Oh God! He's 80 years old now.
Anthony Mackie, I believe. Michael B. Jordan.
You mean
I can't remember.
The Star Lost Keir Dullea and nothing else?
Yes, the Star Lost and nothing else is Keir Dullea, which is why I was excited. Jenny loves the book, so we're watching it, and they're like, "Hey, Keir Dullea in this." She's like, "What's he in?" I'm like, "Star Lost." More
Star Lost, nothing else. Absolutely nothing from 5 years before that.
Star Lost.
He was in a little. He had a small role. He wasn't even in the whole movie in this thing Kubrick made, but whatever. He's in the Star Lost. When I swallowed the eye at the Happy Cook.
Michael Shannon's quite good in it. It gets a bad review, but I'm like, that's not that bad.
No.
Come on.
Gaddy, I'm going to miss you. You didn't know him at all. So I don't think we solved the mystery. Did we solve it? I don't know how close we are to solving the end of this episode. We've still got 8 minutes left, so it's...
There's time.
There's still time.
Pardon me, Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
For when they were in the restaurant, I was thinking that for some reason I was thinking that the friends killed him, but
no, because they got run
over. Well, they kept killing
the car.
Susie though, so they didn't have time.
Oh yeah.
They ran over the car, and we are definitely into you could definitely tell that there's another unit shooting another Torchwood episode elsewhere. It's quite fascinating, these double banked episodes, because you have a film, like an entire film crew who is used to the routine. Like, the directors and DOPs might change and stuff, but it's basically the same crew making every episode. But then you have to find another crew to shoot an episode of Doctor Who or Torchwood, You
got to find your James Erskine of the group.
You got to find your Brian Grants or your I can't think of anyone else who directed Love Monsters. I can't remember.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, like the one off to like a full extra crew. Here's how we shoot Torchwood. Make it, even though none of the people who regularly make the show are going to be involved in this production. You have to go shoot it. It's a thing.
Love and Monsters was directed by Dan Zeff.
Dan Zeff never went on to direct Doctor Who again, I don't think. He directed something else, though. That name rings a bell.
Chappie.
Like I saw...
That was not a good movie.
I saw Chappie... I didn't mind it. I went to see it in Banff. I remember we were getting tickets there, and there was a father and a small child were going up there.
Yeah, it's not a father and a small child film.
2 tickets for Chappie, please. They thought it was some like sort of delightful comedy with a.
Say Short Circuit. Come on,
with a robot, and of course, sir, it's rated 18+. You cannot go bring your child to go see Chappie.
I haven't seen it because I love District 9, and I tolerated Elysium. I thought, okay, so this guy's saying the same stuff over again and not as well. Gotcha.
Right.
And so by the time Chappie showed up and it was like, hey, this robot is a gangster, and apparently, what's his name? The two, I can't even remember the name of the South African band, are playing themselves basically.
They kind of are.
I don't know if I'm going to see this. Yeah.
It was interesting. It was an interesting movie.
I saw it that's her name.
I saw it before any of the, the baggage was attached to it though. So
yeah. I mean, it's on streaming services. Maybe I'll watch it one of these days. I don't know. I
don't know what Dan Zeff went on to. I remember seeing his name somewhere though. But anyway, credit to these crews. I mean, there's got to be obviously some crossover between the productions a little bit. There's got to be obviously the writing and the exec producing is sort of like looking over it. But like essentially, you're looking at like an independent production. What was Torchwood Confidential this week? Oh, we should go back and look at that because maybe they had Bern Gorman swimming with sharks or something like that because they didn't have anything else to shoot because they're busy.
Torchwood declassified, but
yeah, I know.
I gave you all those, right? Or you already had them or something?
Yeah, on the DVDs.
They're on the
yes,
DVD, right.
On the DVDs. All the classifieds are on the actual DVDs as well, for what it's worth. And they only ever made the shorter length ones. They didn't have
10 minutes or something.
Yeah. Oh, look who it is. Hi, we've been shooting another episode that you aren't in. Most impressive.
But you're not a Jedi yet.
So they're all after the eye, eh? The unblinking eye.
Then a bunch of chronivores eat them.
Yeah. We call this the unblinking eye. And this the paddling of ass with paddles.
Old Simpsons.
I know, right?
It's all on Disney Plus, and I'm like, gosh, should I go past 1990?
No,
should
don't
I?
Bother. It's like,
I mean, past 2000. 1990
right.
Stuff's good.
That car's going like 20 kilometers an hour. Oh no! Indy, let it go.
There's a lot of Spielberg and Lucas happening here.
There is, oddly enough. Oh my God, it's Rose's father, Pete. What? I don't remember this.
You don't remember any of this?
No, I know. I didn't know that he lived or he came back to life somehow.
He came back somehow, yeah.
Well, that's a bit of a cop-out. How did he come back to life?
This is like the end of Forest of the Dead, or Forest of the Night, or whatever the hell that Capaldi was.
He swallowed the eye.
Right, and that's what made him invisible. Well, they also got hit by a car, or did the eye take care of him there too? Well, they just wasted money on a funeral for that guy.
It's a cremation as well.
Yeah, it's like that Star Trek. And speaking of TNG, when Geordi and is it Ensign Rowe who get come back from some conference or something like that, and they're invisible. Yeah, I forgot about this. I didn't find this that objectionable, apart from the fact that he is dead. Okay, good. Thank God for that. That Eugene is creeping on Gwen here.
I mean, it's Torchwood. It wasn't any more or less Torchwood than our Torchwood. All the Torchwood people, except maybe Gwen, look like they're trying too hard to be cool.
A little bit.
Especially Bern Gorman.
A little bit.
Yes.
No.
Especially Bern Gorman. There we go. Reverse that Rose shot. Very good.
Yeah, look at that. That's got to be the same shot, isn't it?
I mean, I've stolen this for numerous fan vids, so who am I to talk?
Is he dead? So he's dead now, I guess.
Yes, he's dead.
What did Kat find so objectionable about this?
Ask her. I don't know.
Well, you live with her, Chris. I mean, you're right there. She's probably sitting on the couch next to you.
I remember this one being okay. Flight.
No, yeah, this one was. We're gonna have to.
This was the good one. This is not the good one. This is a good one. Also, it stars Olivia Hallinan, who was in a show called Sugar Rush, who I fell in love with her back.
Oh, is that her there?
Sugar Rush.
Her, which one?
Yeah, the ginger one.
The ginger one. Her. Oh, Owen Harper, you cad.
I declare this middling.
What, this episode or that trailer?
Yeah, middling, I say.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the episode.
There really isn't a heck of a lot that happens in the episode, to be fair. So.
This episode
or
the one?
It's
this one.
bottle episode filler is what it is.
Kind of is. Got 13 episodes to go, man. You know, you gotta go, okay, we gotta make something where we're making something else. So make it good, but don't make it too good. Is basically what Jaquetta May was told when she wrote this.
Make it McDonald's.
There's nothing bad about McDonald's. Listen, I want to go. I know they might have moved it. They might have just remodeled it. But the next time I go to London, I'm going to find the McDonald's that they shot.
Oh hell yes,
Sandbaggers
absolutely.
in because
yes. I knew before you were finished.
Oh, God,
there's so much.
Yeah,
so much. The special
I'm sure it
relationship
doesn't
was
exist
kept
anymore.
moving because of that Sandbaggers McDonald's. I'm telling you. All right, that was Torchwood Random Shoes, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. I don't know if I did or not. Next week, though, Out of Time. Yes, the hit song from Huey Lewis and the News finally made into a Torchwood episode.
Or the REM album.
A dream
the
filled.
REM album.
Both
That's
counts.
true. Yeah. That'll be next on this Torchwood Revisited series of commentaries. Do join us then. Until then, I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.
You've been listening to Radio Free Skaro. Find us online at radiofreeskaro.com. Follow us on Twitter and Tumblr at Radio Free Skaro. Subscribe to us on iTunes and donate to the show at patreon.com/Radio Free Skaro. Thank you.